my story. I'm going to talk about my detransition. Gender is huge. Gender is everywhere. Male, female, intersex, transgender, non-binary. There's so many labels out there now that people are becoming really, really overwhelmed by. Before I speak out about anything else, I want to say that I am very open and respect every single person's journey in finding themselves. This is just from my own experience, and I feel like it's something that really needs to be put out there. In 2016, I came out as transgender. I had felt like I was living a lie. Like, I genuinely felt like I had detached myself from who I was as a person. I felt like my life didn't suit the role of a man. I found my path, which was to transition. That was my goal in life. Let me take you back a little bit. I had done drag from a young age, from the age of 18 up until 25. And I remember when I worked, in that character and performing and just being out there and just being able to express myself and genuinely not give a fuck what Bill and Bob thought of me. It felt so liberating. It felt good. And I'm not going to lie, it just felt right. On top of that, there was a lot of alcohol and there was a lot of drugs. I didn't think that it was a problem at the time, but I will get into that later on. I always remember feeling shitty from Monday to Friday. I always remember just not feeling good about myself. That's just basically how I lived my life. I was high on the weekends and low through the weekdays. In 2015 or 2016, I was then threw into this whirlwind of a lifestyle, which was working on MTV on a reality show called Beauty School Cop-Outs. I was fed so much information that this was life. Life was set. You are going to be so famous, you're going to have so much money, people are going to know who you are. This is everything I've wanted. This is everything I've worked for. Fame, money, recognition. This is everything that I wanted to be. I just wanted to be liked. I always remember making pacts with myself at a young age, saying, I will do this when I'm famous. I will do this when I have money. And I felt like a lot of these I will do's was about to come. I'm not going to try and delve into a lot of the information. The show was genuinely a flop. Every expectation that I was given was flawed. I was dropped from management. I was told that I will never be able to book a job because I was a gay man. After being dropped and watching other people around me kind of find their imprint in this kind of fame game, it didn't really make me feel good at all. It just piled on everything that happened to me throughout my teen life. And my teen life was basically an isolated, lonely life, a place of never feeling like I fully fitted in, going to school and, being bullied from the second you got on the bus to school to the second you got off the bus coming home from school. A constant reminder of how shit I was, a constant reminder of how different I was to everyone else. When you feel that you are being recognised for yourself, and then to have your management just drop you like nothing, I mean, at the time I'd said I wasn't bothered, I can do it myself. But really what I'd done was I went off the rails. I didn't have a job, I lived with my mum, I was having Botox whenever I wanted, I was having lip infills whenever I wanted, I was having my hair done whenever I wanted, I was getting the clothes whatever I wanted, I could eat wherever I wanted, but I had no money. Felt like I had to sell myself to get these things. Felt like I was never good enough to take on a normal job and earn money and be part of the normal society. So I began to dress more feminine. I began to disassociate with Calvin and find a new role in this person that I was becoming. I began to put this armour on myself and detach from every hurt, every pain, every rejection, every bit of abuse that I'd faced throughout the past. I began to block that out by becoming this person. I then started finding YouTube videos and vlogs online of trans women speaking about their experience. And from that, I began to identify. I began to identify with this feeling of not feeling like you fitted in as a child, not feeling like you were in the right body. And I was like, wow, it gave me a sense of purpose. It was training, basically. It was a lot of training to become the person that I was going to become. I then came out to my parents, my mum, online, which a lot of people seen. That was on the internet, and I think it's still on the internet, so you can go watch that. From the back of that, everything began to kind of like explode again. Everyone wants to know my story. I was in Australian newspapers, I was in Canadian newspapers, I was in a Philippine newspaper. The story got out, and wow, I felt a sense of purpose again. I felt, wow, this is what makes me become alive. This is what makes me happy. Men looked at me. I was seen as attractive. I was seen as a sexual figure. I was fuckable. I then began hormone treatment. I remember those pills coming through the post. I was self-medicating at the time, so I was buying pills from New Zealand. Didn't have a clue what I was taking, but I was going to take them anyway because I had a goal. It was like my drug dealer just basically dropped off like a kilo of cocaine, and I was just like, I was crying, and I was just like, this is what's going to save me. Like, this is everything. And I remember taking it and just being like, when will it start working? And that was the goal. That was the goal. It was to change the outside to the inside. I seen a therapist who then we had a couple of sessions with, and she asked me about my childhood and how I felt. And obviously I had the ammunition. I'd watched every single YouTube video that I needed to watch in order to get what I wanted. That was even without me realising this. This was me not even being conscious of the words that I was saying, but knowing that this is what I wanted. Calvin was shit. Calvin wasn't good at anything. Managers dropped Calvin. His own parents couldn't love him, so how would anyone else love him? Being gay was just so disgusting. A constant reminder of how defaulted Calvin is. So I knew the exact location of where I wanted to be. I was booking in appointments. I was doing a lot with my face at the time. I was getting a lot of Botox. I was getting fillers. I was really, really working on my body. I'm really shaping myself. But I was doing it all in an unhealthy way. I was at this point smoking a lot of weed of a night time. That was my kind of, that'll get me asleep. And I always remember going to bed of a night time and just feeling tired and just kind of, I felt this fog that would come over me. So I'd smoke and the fog would go away. I was suppressing a lot of shit. Through other vlogs, there's other parts that I really want to talk about and go into a lot of depth about and talk really, really honest about. Abuse, it involves sexual abuse, it involves self-abuse. It involves a lot of shit, but I don't feel like it's a lot for this video right now. In July 2017, I went into rehab. I just got to a point of meltdown, like complete and utter breakdown. Moved to Thailand, praying every day. I was meditating every day. Yeah, I was drinking every night. Paradise became hell. It became such a dark place where everything just became shit. These beaches became bitches. The clouds are just like, I came over and I had no idea what this was. I stopped taking my medication. I flew straight to Amsterdam, where I was going to make a new life for myself. I was going to start all over again. And within 2 weeks of living in Amsterdam, Calvin was shit. Guys don't look at me the way they're supposed to look at me. No one pays me attention. No one can see me. I just blend in with everyone else. What's the best thing to do? Take the medication again. I'm supposed to be a woman. This is where I'm supposed to be going. I hit another bottom where it was drinking every single night, and I don't even know why I was drinking, but there was just something like a cloud of something that was just like compressing, and it was just like, I need to just get rid of this thing. That's when I went into rehab. When I was in rehab as well, I had booked to see a surgeon, which was going to do my breast augmentation. I was going to get my breast fitted. Throughout that as well, I was going to have my jaw broken, so I was going to have this kind of chiseled down. I was going to have my forehead moved forward, and my cheekbones done, and also my nose done. This was everything. This was going to be my sense of happiness. Also, alongside that, I was also in rehab, so I was doing a lot of work on myself and on my inner self. So it was kind of conflicting a lot, but I didn't realise at the time. I began to identify with Calvin again. It was supposed to be an exciting moment. It was supposed to be a moment of like, oh my God, like this is where I'm supposed to be going. But because I was doing a lot of inside work at the time, I began to become conscious and aware of my feelings and emotions. And I remember the surgeon saying to me, okay, we can have this done for you in the next couple of months. Just keep it on your hormones, get a little bit more tissue in there, and we'll have you happy and on your way. And it was the word, we will have you happy and on your way. This wasn't a sense of happiness. This wasn't a sense of freedom for me. This wasn't going to be it. Because I knew that when I first got Botox, I was like, that was it. I'd already get it done the once. 6 times later, in that 1 year, I was constantly getting it. I never got my lips done. 5 times later, in that 1 year, I was still getting it because I thought that those were going to be my sense of happiness. And I realised that once I got these done and once I got the face done, other things were going to come because there's no place of happiness. It's not a destination. It's a constant journey. And I had to find happiness within myself because that's all where it is. I had to do the inside work, like standing in front of a mirror naked and looking at myself and being just really vocal and just kind of looking at my body and saying, is there a problem there or is it just in your head? And there wasn't. Like, after months of standing in the mirror and just becoming to love what I had was a challenging thing because being told constantly by strangers and by the people that are supposed to love you that you're shit, that you're ugly, that your hair's ugly, that your face is not right. How am I supposed to love myself when everyone around me who was supposed to love me have told me how shit I am? So my journey was to find love within myself and to love everything about me. I'm still on that journey, and I can't lie and say that some days I wake up and think life will be better as a woman. Maybe people will recognise me more. It's because I'm so insecure and I have such a low self-esteem that I need the outside validation to complete the inside, and it doesn't work like that because it's just temporary things. It's just filling temporary voids, same as how alcohol was and same as how drugs were. Once I began to accept who I was, life became a lot more easier. There is days when I wake up and I look at myself in the mirror and go, gosh, you're ugly. That's just what is ingrained into me, but it's a work in progress. Part of my detransition has brought me closer to getting well. I had suffered with depression and anxiety from a young age, but didn't even realise that. Really, really delving in and doing a lot of work on myself over the past 3 years, I've been able to meet myself, to see every single insecurity, every single flaw, every single defect of character that has made me do the things that I've done in life. And I don't regret it. I don't regret a single thing. But I feel that for me, this is what's worked for me, which is, it's an inside job. Being trans is a real thing. You know, people who naturally feel as though they are in the wrong body, and I cannot deny that. I know that later on down the line, maybe, I don't know, but maybe I would have hugely regretted what I'd done. I feel that there is a bigger agenda, how we've been put into roles of what male and what female is. I'm very fluid within my gender. I'm very fluid in my feelings and in how I am as a person. I'm extroverted, I'm introverted, I'm feminine, I'm masculine. I use them when I need to use them. And I know that I can express my femininity through this body. And it's a constant journey. I know that will always be there waiting for me. And whenever I feel low, I will look for something that's going to make me feel instantly better. Really, part of this recovery is it's a journey. Just being really aware of my triggers, basically. I would really be intrigued to know what your thoughts and opinions are on the matter. And yeah, so please do comment below. Do subscribe, because I am going to do a lot more videos as well, and I'm going to speak a lot more open the way I have done now, and I look forward to it.